All right, let's now speak to the Nelson Mandela Bay Executive Mayor, Gqeberha Niekerk. Mr. Niekerk, good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. Let's start with the very latest as far as evacuations are concerned. In fact, as they were worried that there may be people that may need to be evacuated. Has that been the case?
Yes. Good afternoon. Last night I was busy with, I visited the area at 4 in the afternoon, but when I checked my weather app, I checked the different areas, and I found that, lo and behold, that Gqeberha will be hardest hit by these floods. And I then decided that I'll be visiting the area at around about 10, 11. Arrived in Gqeberha just after 11, and at around about 12, it really came down in bucket loads. And it's then when the community themselves decided that it's not safe for them to be in their homes anymore, and we used all the available vehicles at our disposal to start evacuating people. Luckily, a lady from a school nearby opened their door for us at around about 3 a.m. and then we evacuated people, and they were able to spend the evening in the hall at Sunshine School, and I want to thank the school for opening their doors at that hour. It's actually an ungodly hour to go and knock on someone's door. But yes, people were evacuated, but I can say that report that those people are back at home again. Thank God for that.
We understand that there's a 76-year-old man who was electrocuted while trying to disconnect a plug due to rising water. Has that been the only fatality?
As far as I know, that's the only fatality reported. Hence, me going out to the communities to create awareness at 4 p.m. yesterday. I've been on social media for almost 24 hours and non-stop with about 2 hours sleep in between. So if I do look a bit worse for wear,
it's understandable.
You know exactly why.
It's understandable.
But, yes, it was important for us to get the message out. But remember this, there's a difference between this flood and the flood of the last time. The last time, the flood actually happened already, and then we only got the level 6, orange level 6 warning. The only warning we received the last time was a level 2 warning. The level 6 warning this time came timeously. We knew the Sunday morning already that we can expect a bad weather, inclement weather on Monday evening, and I monitored. We all monitored it, and eventually we activated our JOC on Monday, and we had contingency plans in place. And there's no, compared to the last time, I think we had 11 fatalities, and you just described what the one fatality was all about.
So one would ask then that, of course, as you say, that the warnings came timeously. Was it difficult to get people to leave their homes, or why are we then finding that some people needed to be evacuated afterwards?
Look, we were on the ground all the time, and it was a difficult call to make. At the time, it was 50 millimeters of rain predicted, and the closer it got to 12 o'clock, so the prediction got worse and worse, progressively worse, up until we saw there's a prediction of 100 millimeters of rain between 11 o'clock and 6 a.m. this morning. And when the rains did come down and we saw the effects of it, if I can give you an example, I went there specifically because I know of the one canal, the Cat Canal in Gqeberha, which poses a high risk to the residents living around the canal. In those streets, it's Gibbon Street, Jubilee Street, Taylor Street, all those streets, the houses around those streets could result in fatalities. And I was there 4 o'clock the afternoon. Everybody knew what the plan was. When I left the area, everybody agreed in that big area. They're all going to sleep now. They're going to set the alarms at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Everybody woke up. I was there with the emergency vehicles, and we drove around. When you came to the area at 11:30, for example, it was fine. And then if you return 45 minutes later, it was really out of control and really dangerous. And that's how quickly the situation can change when it comes to a flooding or a cloudburst. The one thing somebody must explain to me from the meteorologists, they must explain to me how is it that the rain can target such a small area like Gqeberha. 200 millimeters of rain fell in the last 24 hours. If you look at all the other areas in PE, everybody's reporting 100 millimeters of rain that fell in a 24-hour period. But once again, it happened right there in Gqeberha. I can't explain that here.
We'll try and put it to our teams and see if they can have an answer for you. But let's talk about something else. I mean, you say that there was a difference between, the previous flooding and now as far as the early warning systems are concerned. But you do have residents who are saying, if you've been here before, you should have at least made sure that your stormwater drainage systems are in fact working accurately. Right now, we are seeing that there's water that is, a body of water stuck in one area like we saw before. So what is the real issue when it comes to the stormwater drainage systems?
I wouldn't put it down to one issue only. I think it's a combination of our ailing infrastructure, and that's not just a local thing of Nelson Mandela Bay or a South African thing. It's actually a global phenomenon that you find happening all over the world, where there's ailing infrastructure, and many countries are suffering with that problem. So the one is we could have done better in terms of preparing, but it's years of neglect. It's not the last 1.5 years only that I've been the executive mayor. Talking about the last 10, 20 years, we should have upgraded our systems. If you find out from the engineers how long these pipes have been in the ground, they'll tell you that it's since the 1970s, sometimes even the 1960s.
So what's stopping the systems from being fixed? What is stopping this infrastructure from being fixed? Because I'm sure residents are wondering, this is not the only time, as you say, that you are going to be getting such rainfall. So what is stopping the systems from being fixed?
Let me give you a very good example. When the last flood happened, the damages were assessed by the engineers. When the president was down, the figure that was given to him is that it's going to cost us 3 billion rand to fix the infrastructure as well as the damages to Gqeberha. They left. They told us the Western Cape normally does well. They get their plans in, their business plan in within 1 week, and not very long thereafter, they received the funds for the disaster. Once the disaster has been declared, the disaster was declared in our case, and we were told that very soon we'll receive the money.
Do you still not?
Months down the line, we
still don't have the money? Do you still don't have it?
We still haven't received the money from national government.
So what does that mean? What does that mean then, Mayor? Because if you haven't received the money from national government, you are now faced with a situation where residents are simply angry to say that why are the systems not being fixed? Is there pressure that is being applied to national government right now to release the money because you are in trouble?
Let me put it to you this way. We are in a fortunate position that the provincial government, they're busy with an exercise where they bring the legislation to the people, and by pure coincidence, they are here this week, the last 3 days. They are in the metro, and they've experienced it firsthand. And the Premier has given this commitment. The MECs have given the commitment that we receive the money. We're putting pressure on them. They're putting pressure on national. We are the politicians. I know for a fact, being in government, that it's not politicians who actually sign off on these things. It's actually the officials. So there's somewhere in the value chain, it's the DGs or DDGs who are responsible for releasing this money. We were promised 3 billion rand. We're now told that we're getting 60 million rand in terms of our first tranche, which is nowhere close to the 3 billion that's required to fix the problem. We are making pleas to provincial government and to national government, not blaming them, but asking them, please, we need that money to make the area safe, so that should this happen again, we know that due to climate change, we're going to have more floods, more drought, more intense floods, more prolonged drought as well. So yes, we need the money. Please, whoever's sitting on the money, please release it so that we can make changes.
And we'll definitely follow up because definitely this is another layer of the conversation that is needed right now because you are possibly going to find yourself here again. What happens then? But Mayor, thank you so much for your time. And as you say, you haven't slept. It does look like, of course, there's a lot of work that lies ahead. That is the Nelson Mandela Bay Executive Mayor, Gqeberha.